Just putting us on YouTube here. That so that we don't get interruptions.
Hi.
Hello, Paul. How are you, Paul?
Good.
Good. Glad to hear it. We'll wait for the others to join for 2 minutes. The noisy household you got going on there, Paul?
Oh, it's just the radio.
Oh, is it?
It was just the radio.
Gotcha.
So are we going to be efficient and prompt today with the budget communication at 6 o'clock tonight?
Oh, that's right. And anyways, I have a deadline, so I have to leave by 6 tonight anyway. So hopefully we can get through this fairly quickly. Let's give it a couple more minutes. Wait for others to join. I did send a reminder out, so.
Yeah, I appreciated that because it was confusing with I've lost the name, questioning whether it was the 30th.
Oh, I didn't notice it. Oh, did you question? Okay. I don't think it was 30th, but.
Yeah, no, it never was. She changed it in the minutes.
Okay, okay. We had a little confusion there. Yes, yes. All right, because we do need quorum here. Minutes approved. What a process. I know Claire doesn't close the store till 5, so she's usually more or less on time. Okie dokie. Just 5 minutes. So. I think Janice, I hope Janice will be here. She didn't say she wasn't going to be. Let me send it. Well, this is awkward, isn't it? Okay.
But
Yay, Janice.
Dennis is here. Dennis is just trying to figure out how to put it onto video as well.
All good. I'm just gonna send, I know Claire pops in.
Yeah.
She's a little late.
There. No, I don't want new apps. I just want it to turn on.
Oh, there's Claire. Excellent. Okay. Good. I just texted Gary.
Oh, on this.
Okay, so I'm not sure who's noisier between the two of you. Hi, Claire. But maybe Paul, do you mind just muting yourself for a moment, please? Because I just want to, it's very lovely. You're the noisy one, I'm afraid. So you have to unmute when you need to speak. Welcome, everybody. Janice, are you ready for us?
Yep, yep. I'm not getting a camera for some reason.
It's
so
okay. No worries. No worries. I know it's a challenge from a technological
yeah,
standpoint.
we're used to the black hole that is me, so that's okay.
No worries at all. No worries. So welcome, everybody.
I just got my hair cut. I just wanted to show off. We can go.
Okay, so I just gave Gary a quick text to see if he's able to make it. So it is now 5:03. So I'd like to call the meeting to order. I have to leave by 6, and I know that Bob's got a meeting at 6 as well, so that will work out just fine. So does anybody have any pecuniary interest they need to disclose at this point? No. Okay, so shakes a no. Okay, so may I have a motion to approve the minutes then, please? Or the agenda first before the minutes.
Sure. Yep.
Okay, thank you, Claire. And a seconder, please.
I'll do so.
Okay, thank you, Janice. Paul, for you, if you don't want to put your volume on, you can always just put your hand up too, if that's easier. I'm not saying you shouldn't put it on. It's just that it was very noisy in the background. Okay, excellent. That was easy. Okay, moving along. A motion to approve the minutes, which includes the resolution from February 23rd, because it turns out we have to have the two things together. We cannot separate them. They have to both be approved and have to be approved in person. So to clarify that for everybody, we cannot approve them separately, and both the minutes and the resolution need to be approved in a meeting, in a formal meeting. They can't be approved over email. Okay, so for future reference. So, so may I have a motion then?
I have a comment. I have a comment on the minutes. We keep listing fibre in the commingle, and I don't think fibre is part of commingle.
I thought I had made that adjustment, Paul, because I agree. I think commingle is the plastic metal. And what the heck else is there?
In the revised version, the first sentence included fibre in the commingle, and then the second sentence says that Maryville Walford has segregated streams.
Well, multi-stream, which separates fibers from the other. Now, is that correct or not?
Okay, so let's have the right terminology then, because I thought the commingling was everything together. So that's you're suggesting that's not accurate.
I don't think commingle has fibre in it.
Okay.
Okay. All right, I'll cross that off and we'll make that adjustment.
Okay, so then are there any other comments or changes? I'm not sure. Any other comments or changes at all that you want to make to the minutes before we? Okay, so I then need someone to make a motion.
Where's the speaker?
All right, with that change, if someone can make a motion to approve those minutes, please.
Where is it?
Hi, Gary.
Yeah, I can approve
Okay.
as
Paul,
amended.
I've got to mute you. I don't know what's going on at your house, but it's very noisy. Thank you. Yeah, I don't know. There's some interference with your microphone or something, but it's all staticky. So Okay, so thank you for that, Claire. So we've got a motion. Can I have a seconder to approve the minutes with, thank you, Paul, with the slight change of
Thank
the
you.
removal of fiber from commingle?
Yeah.
That's great. Okay, moving along. The next item on the agenda is the recycling report. And there are a few things on the recycling report. Decision on recommendations to ensure a clear list of recyclable items and requirements such as cleanliness is posted and easy to find on the website. Hi, Gary.
Hi.
And
Hi, Gary.
well, I have a hard time finding it on the website. I don't know if anybody else attempted to look for it on the website, but it's a challenge to find.
I did find it, but it took me, I'm pretty sure, about 15 minutes.
Yeah. So I think we need to look at that.
If there's a way to make it
Yeah, and be clear about that. So any
a little
suggestions?
faster, I think that would be helpful. Is there any use to having a basic list posted on the bulletin board by the post office to remind everybody?
Yeah, I think that would be a really good start. Yep, I think that's a good suggestion.
And at least it's there to nag us on, remind us, and
Yeah.
it's one page. I mean, we don't have to list every herm and column. That might help.
Now, when you found it, Janice, was it accurate?
Well, it reduced a lot of things that I thought were, well, that were before there, because I had the previous list that actually came in the post box. And so it's certainly an update.
So it changed from the one that you were, the last
Yeah.
one you received in the post box.
And
So
it seems to follow. I mean, I'd like somebody who's perhaps even more knowledgeable than me to back it up, but it seemed to me that it followed much more the sorts of things I've been hearing everybody say, no, you can't do that, no, you can't do this.
But you're
so
saying,
I
but
think
what you're
it's pretty
saying, if
accurate.
I'm getting this right, Janice, you're saying that it is different than the one that you, as a resident, that you actually received.
Yeah,
Okay, so that's
definitely.
that's
Definitely
something
an
that needs
update
to
from
be
that.
needs to be noted.
Yeah.
Because
Yes, I will do that.
there should be, I believe, my suggestion, residents should be receiving something that's updated. We can't expect residents to go to the website, or if they currently have the old one, to know that is the old one versus when it's
Mhm.
changed.
Well, and a date on any document,
Yeah,
doesn't
yeah.
matter what it is,
Yeah,
anything that gets posted on the website or in your post box or anything else ought to have a date on it. And I know
Yeah.
occasionally I forget too, but it makes a world of difference when you've got at least something
Yep.
that lets you know this is reasonably recent.
so suggestions, team, of what to do about this?
Even
Thoughts?
if we could share the new updated document, which definitely does look like a brand new, much better formatted than the old option that I used to see. If we could share it on social media, maybe through
Mhm.
the village page, that would be a start. That's easy.
It could also, when the village minutes go out, it could go on the other side of the village minutes as well. Often as part of that, that gets dropped in the mailboxes. That wouldn't be a bad idea.
I know that does incur an expense and they're
Well, they've
they're
gotta
going to
send
do
it
that
out
every
anyway.
week, and why should they?
They
But
send
if
out those village notes once a week or once a month. I think it's once a month, Bob, we go out to village notes.
Well, then as long as it stays in force, we don't need to reinforce it every single time. But if it at least would go out once,
Yeah.
and
Bob, does
if
it
it
go out
gets a
once?
major change, then do it again.
Yeah. Bob, does it go out once a month, the village notes or whatever I'm trying to remember. It's been a while. I haven't seen one for a while, come to think of it. Or is it quarterly? I don't remember. You're on mute. You're still on mute.
Yeah,
There
no, I
you
was just
go.
finding the
Okay.
recyclable list in the village website. So it's under residents, and as soon as the page comes up, they have a link to go to the list of recyclables.
Okay. So, but we think that the last one that's sent out or given out to residents is an older one. So we think it's time that we updated that so that residents
Certainly.
were aware. Because we can't expect people necessarily to go to the website.
Well, and another venue that they have to send out to communicate to everyone in the village is the tax notices. So,
Oh, yeah,
That's right.
you know.
that's a good time.
Okay.
Yeah.
The last, if you got a sewer and water bill lately, you probably saw the insert that was available. Even if you do it electronically, there was a link available that was talking about people's sump pumps going into the sanitary sewer, et cetera. So,
Yes,
so they can
yes.
use, when they do a complete mail out for taxes, even electronically, they can send that information as well.
So I think that would be an excellent start, because I in my morning run this morning, there was not a single blue box that I went past that had the proper items in it. They all had incorrect items in them. So I think that would be a great suggestion. So how do we go about doing that? Can we just make it a suggestion, put it in the minutes, Bob, or do we need to make a resolution for that?
I think what you're trying to get across is the need for the village to communicate to the residents. And if you wanted to use that as an example, to include that in a tax mail out, or basically
and on social media, that area as well.
Whatever other venues that you think could work, but that's certainly one that you could include in the list of venues.
Okay, so do we need it as a resolution, Bob, or can we just put it in the minutes?
I think if you're ultimately, I think you want to make a recommendation to council that they improve communications on recycling. So whether that comes through as a resolution.
I always feel it seems to get more attention as a resolution, but I'm not sure. Maybe we can make that, maybe then we should make it a resolution. How does everybody else feel about that?
It seemed to me, Bob, you'd said way back, or perhaps it was you, Paul, that if it was going to entail any kind of cost, then it needed to be a resolution. It just made it a little more formal. Now, I may be wrong on that, but I have no problem with the idea of writing up a resolution and sending it in.
Yeah, I recall that as well, Janice, but I don't see, I feel like it's more effective if we make the resolutions. I think it's important.
Well, it's a separate document that is going to go to them and they're going to look at it. Doesn't mean that's a guarantee they're going to do it.
Yeah, no. So would somebody like to provide some wording for that?
Mm-hmm.
I
can do a draft this weekend.
Yeah, go ahead, Claire.
I think Bob said it well, that we're recommending that they communicate more effectively the recycling guidelines to the community in the following ways. We could say sending out a hard copy with tax notices, posting on social media, and perhaps posting on public bulletin boards.
Perfect.
There we go. I like
that. Can you write that verbatim, Janice? Again, do you need that repeated so we can write it verbatim? I think that's perfect.
Communicate information to residents on, and quite frankly, we could leave it blank because I suspect the council could do that on a number of things, but certainly on valid recycling, that sort of thing.
No, let's go. I'm going to ask Janice, if you don't mind. I'd like Claire to repeat exactly what she said, and I think we should write exactly what Claire said.
Yeah, partway through it. Go on, Claire.
Okay, so I said recommend that council communicate the recycling guidelines to the public.
Mm-hmm.
The tax notices, hard copy and tax notices, social media, and posting on public bulletin boards.
Those three vendors.
There we go.
That's great. Thank you, Janice. Thank you, Claire. That's great.
Thanks.
Okay. That's great. I think that'll at least help things out. Okay, so the second item under the recycling report is the decision on contacting Limerick. Okay, so I heard from Bob, I think it was last week, that you sent an email. I did reach out to Limerick. I haven't heard back yet. It was the incorrect email address. It had an E in front of it. It should not have had an E. So it took actually 4 days to bounce back, believe it or not. So I received it today and I resent it again. I called and left a message. I didn't hear anything. So I felt if I emailed him, at least I've got the information in front of him. So hopefully I will be able to, as soon as I hear back, I will just forward the information to you. So that was helpful. Thanks, Bob, for linking us up with that. So again, I will report back as soon as I hear back. I'll forward you the email response. The third item under recycling is the decision on Claire's suggestion of creating a contest to encourage the villain to break last year's recycling record. I don't know, I think we need to maybe wait to see if we can get some more information first, Claire, before we do that.
Yeah, we need
Yeah.
data to start with.
Yeah, we need the data to start with. And I don't know where that sits, speaking of which, that data, it's in our minutes. Did we go back to, sorry, I'm just gonna go back to our minutes, because we were still missing information. Were we not? In order to have that information, that data, we're still waiting. We were waiting to correct that, because we had some information forwarded to us, but it didn't give us what we needed, correct?
I think we still needed a small amount.
Yeah. So I don't know, Bob, did you take that back and?
I
It's not in
haven't,
the minutes.
yeah, I did mention that the data was confusing that we did have.
Okay,
And that the reduction, that's where we were asking about the reduction in the actual tonnage that was recycled. And Brad did respond to us on that about everything from rain to, whether.
yeah, so it was
Rejected
pretty
loads,
hard to.
Yeah.
It was hard to tell what the reasoning was for that, right?
Yeah.
I think we deduced at the end.
Mhm.
So I'm not sure, maybe we can put that on next month's agenda, Claire, and we can revisit that again. Is that okay?
And I can try and get 2021's data as well.
That'd be great.
It should be-
Whatever, yeah,
I'll find it from Brad when that's available, and I'll include that. Try and get a year by year. So to give you, well, that's what you're looking for, is a trend. You're looking for the
Yeah.
data year after year. So
and that combined with what we get from Limerick may shed some light in terms of what's happened.
yeah, exactly. And it's very valid, like to just curiosity about what's getting rejected when it gets to them.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's what I asked. I should have CC'd you and I didn't. I was in a rush. So this is what I actually asked of him. To tell us how many loads are diverted per week or month due to unacceptable items such as unclean jars or unacceptable items. When do they make that decision? Is it at our landfill site or is it at their facility? And do they ever take the opportunity to leave behind a residence recycling bin if there are unacceptable items in it? Or do they have to pick it up anyway? And the third question was, when the recycling bins arrive at your site, what happens next? Are they sorted and transported elsewhere for recycling? So just based on some of the questions that we had. So again, so as soon as I hear back between getting that information from Public Works and the information from Limerick, we should be able to move on to next steps. Right of way, the habitat restoration program, well, that's still in limbo because, did you make mention of that at all in the meeting, Bob, even though our minutes were not approved?
No, it didn't come up. In the last
Oh, it
meeting.
didn't come up. Okay, okay. So we have to approve that resolution today in order for it to go as part of our minutes from last month, in order for it to go to council for the next meeting. So, so obviously no decision on that yet. So, any questions or comments about that? It brings me to just, and my other question is that I don't know how everybody feels about meeting shortly after simply to approve minutes so that we're not behind a month, whether people are interested and open to that being the only item on that meeting is simply to approve the minutes.
I have no problem myself in 99 times, I'm sure, out of 100.
Okay.
Saying
okay.
that I can do them by the end of the weekend following the meting, so
Okay,
that
yeah.
early the next week.
Yeah, so as soon
We
as
could do
you,
that.
okay, as soon as you have them, then how does everybody else feel about that?
I'm personally not keen on another meeting. I find it would be intrusive. I think we should do it on an as needed basis. So if there's a time sensitive item,
Okay, fair.
such as we might be discussing on pitch in, if there's a time sensitive item, we have the extra meeting, but I don't think we should do it as a matter of course.
If we have just one item, Bob, in that circumstance, are we able to, sorry, Paul, I'm going to ask you to mute yourself again, please. Thank you. Can I work that way if we've got a time sensitive item? Because we can't separate the resolution from the minutes. So does that help us in any way? I don't think so, based on what I,
Well, the thing that I would just, it's all timing, and it's when we, if the committee were to meet to approve the minutes, you would have to have the proper notification once your time period for your meeting. Then you would have the meeting. In order for it to get onto a council agenda, they would have to get it in the office a week before the meeting as well.
so it's not
So
ideal.
it's all, nothing moves swiftly.
No, no. So, okay. So, and I suspected that. So that's rather unfortunate. So I guess how does everybody else? Any other comments, opinions about that?
I think if we have a resolution, it makes sense to try to meet again before a month later.
Yeah, in which case we'd have to both approve the resolution and the minutes at that time. We couldn't separate the two. So that brings back to Paul's suggestion of an item being time sensitive. So, okay, yeah.
Because I suspect we won't necessarily have that every single
No.
month. So perhaps that is a good balance between the routine stuff and the things that perhaps are more urgent.
Yes. Thank you, Janice. Yes, Gary. Lori, Gary.
Bob, when are the meetings for council scheduled? Are they the 1st and the 3rd?
2nd and 4th.
2nd and 4th. So when we meet in the 3rd, we're never going to turn it for the 4th. Like, we're never going to turn it for the 4th week. So we're always aiming for the 2nd week. We do have a couple of weeks, so we probably can if we need to, right?
Yeah.
Because we'll never make the one that's next week.
No, never. No matter what. Yeah, absolutely. Agreed. So, okay. So back to the suggestion that Paul made, it's on a needs basis. So if we've got something we need to turn around quickly, then we can make that decision at the meeting. So that's great. Thank you, everybody, for input on that. So if we can just make a note of that, Janice, so that's what we're gonna, so that's great. That makes sense to me. Perfect. Any other, well, we can't, there's nothing much to talk about the right away because it'll only go to council and then we'll get the information at that point. So we are a little behind on that, but based on what they say, so Bob, you'll report back. I think that will affect probably the agenda as well. So it would be nice to know what is discussed in the meeting in terms of that resolution, so that we can adjust, I can adjust the agenda accordingly in terms of what we're going to talk about, if that's okay.
Their meetings are broadcast as well, aren't they?
Yeah.
Council meetings?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah, I'll
Yes,
have to
they
do a better job of watching.
Yes. But we do have a fantastic council rep who could also just quickly send up an
Oh,
email.
yeah.
Let us know.
Yes, I know. I know. Bob does a good job.
So that would be great. If you could just give us, when that resolution does come to council, Bob, you just give heads up as to what happens so that I can be more precise in my agenda item. Great. Any other questions, comments, issues about the right of way stuff? No? Okay. So I'm going to move on. Look at us going so fast here. To new business. And Paul brought up pitch in, which I completely forgot about. And yay, because there are no excuses for it not to happen this year. Are there? Hey, Paul, do you want to say anything about pitch in? It was your item, so go for it.
Well, I just remember one of my motivations for joining this committee was pitch in and trying to expand the utilization of it. And then, of course, COVID hit, so we didn't do it for 2 years. And I was wondering whether the organisation still existed, and it does, and it is having a pitch in nationally this year on the dates that are in the agenda.
Yep.
And so I was wondering whether the village was going to be participating in it this year.
Excellent.
Now, with the timing, we can't make a resolution because by the time that we can get back to approve it, etc., the week of pitching will have already happened. So
I wonder if there's a way of bypassing that, Bob, because it's something we've done in the past. I feel like council would definitely be amenable to it. There's no reason not to. But in the past, we've gone straight through to staff and we've kind of bypassed putting it in because it's something that's been in motion for a long time. What are your thoughts on that? Can we talk to Doug CAO about that maybe?
Exactly, yeah, no, that's what I was,
Okay,
if you want, I'll contact him, send him a email that the committee would like to, due to time constraints, rather than a resolution, a recommendation that we rejoin a program that we were involved with previously. Is that
that'd be great.
kind
And
of-
then I think there still are existing bags at the village office. There were 2 years ago when we stopped the program. Now, I know we don't have, there aren't any recycling bags as such left, but it would be nice to know the inventory of what is there for pitch-in, because it's been set up for a number of years.
And the village did post the cleanup dates as well. I don't know if that's,
The cleanup dates, because pitch-in is 17th, April 17th to 23rd. That's when officially pitch-in week is.
okay.
And at that point, of course, landfill site accepts bags of garbage and bags of recycling with no tags, right? If it comes. in.
No, for the cleanup, not garbage, but they'll take, of course, recycling always, but it's the compost, yard waste, twigs, branches.
Oh, separately, yeah. What are those days? Do you remember, Bob? I didn't.
I'm going to tell you what, I'll
Okay.
see if I can find them
Just,
right
yeah,
now.
if you can.
I also
But-
thought that
Go.
they took pitch-in bags that were garbage and didn't charge.
No, they do, and that's a fact. So, and yeah, so it came in during that week. There was no charge because it's residents that are picking up garbage and recycling. There should be no
Well-
charge. There hasn't been a charge for that.
Yeah, there's garbage as well, right? I think
Yeah,
that's,
oh, definitely. There's a ton, much more garbage than there is recycling. That's my experience anyway. And landfill sites, the staff there have always been very good about that. They know who comes in, who brings it, and because it's bags and bags of bags that come at a time, right? Usually there's teams that do it. So
This is the, cleaning the ditches, et cetera. Is that?
pitch in, that's what pitch in is. Clean the ditches and the roadsides and all of that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, not your own personal property, but public
Yeah,
property.
no, it's public property. And so there's actually in the past, the village offices had a big map out, and then you choose your route and you write down who's, and then pick up bags. It's been organized like that for years. So I'm not sure if we have the consistent staff in there that is still knows about the program. That would be my question. I've lost track of who that is.
Yeah, Bob, perhaps Bob, you can find out if there's.
Yeah, but I
Yeah.
can fill in some of those gaps in terms of the
Yes.
information should still be there, Bob. I can imagine they threw it away. If it's
No,
not,
exactly.
yeah,
I'm just
so-
trying to remember the last time that the village.
would have been
participated.
three years ago. So I'm just trying to remember who, and I don't remember who it was that I was dealing with. It was very well organized. It was prior to, what's his name? Gone from my head. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Yeah, so the information should all be there. So if we can get some feedback in terms of, revising or reviving that system again, that would be great so that we could participate.
I think it was Frederick that we used.
Frederick, thank you. If Frederick, there was somebody I dealt with just after Frederick left. I think there was one other person after that. So the idea being in that it went out all over social media, people went in as a group. I'm going to take Reed Street, highlighted that on the map, and then left with bags. Now there are go ahead, Bob.
Yeah, actually, I just found the Pitch In Canada link on the village website. Pitch In 2022. And register now. So I'm not sure if they've done anything with it. Certainly that'll be in my question to the CAO.
That'd be great.
Right.
And then we can get moving on that because it's soon. Yes. Put it out on social media so that, last year, the 2 years ago, the guides, they all participate, groups of them. So it's great. And then we have to make the arrangements at the landfill site. So what they're also doing is because we ran out of the recycling bags for pitch-in. They just have the one type of bag, but they were just accepting them anyway and just letting the groups would let the landfill site know which was recycling and which was garbage.
We used to get this Cubs and Scouts and all that.
Yeah, it was great.
Like
Yeah,
we
it's really
just,
good.
they need to
I
know that
remember.
it's happening for them to participate, right?
Exactly. So that's why we need to know if we could ASAP, Bob, and then if it's a go, then we'll make sure it gets out on social media for the village and post it like crazy. Get people talking, maybe let the schools know as well, because the schools participated as well.
It doesn't give them much time, but we'll get on it as quickly as possible.
Yeah, it doesn't give, yeah, we should have thought about that sooner, but anyway, it is what it is. And even then, there might be a bridge, there's a way we can bridge it somehow, so, well, we'll find out what the CEO says, and we'll take it from there.
I think in the past, I think we've extended it longer when we started later as well. Like we had one year where there was still snow in the ditches and we pushed it out 2 weeks and we did it later. It doesn't really have to happen then because it doesn't go anywhere but in our own landfill and our
Exactly.
own recycling. So it's just a matter of when council wants to make it the time, right?
Yeah.
So that does give them time. The other thing with the Cubs and Scouts, they rent the community center every week, or they use the community center every week. I'm sure that somebody has the email of the lead person that is in
I can
charge.
check, my neighbor Troy is still involved, I can find out through Troy who that
Or
is.
Sheila, it's like Sheila Cornelisa is usually involved as well, but I'm sure.
That's easy to find out, yeah.
Yeah.
It's easy to find out. So yeah, so I mean, it would be great to do it on the actual pitching day because there's media that goes along with that and it's fun to participate. But if, worst case scenario, the priority is to clean things up, right? So, so if we have to push it, we have to push it. Go ahead, Bob.
And just as Gary mentioned on the pitch insight, it talks about doing it when you can, they'll support it year round. And if we register, they provide us with the bags.
Yeah, so we won't have time for that. And there's a small fee. So there's a process to the registration and so on, which is why we ran out of the recycling bags and they didn't get us any new recycling bags. So we need to probably revisit our membership with Kitchen as well. But in the meantime, we need to get out and clean garbage. And we do have some bags there. So we'll figure that out and we'll get moving on it. Any questions, comments about that? Or anything else? No? Great. Hey, that's it. We've gone through our agenda just like that. See, that was great. Anybody have anything they want to add or anything they want to say before we adjourn the meeting? Too quiet. No, everybody's good. Paul, you're still good. Okay, good. Okay, well, it is 5:34. Our next meeting, the next Wednesday in April is the 27th. So that'll be our next meeting at 5 o'clock.
So then that means if we want to do a environment EAC pitch-in day, we won't be meeting till after pitch-in day. So we got to decide.
Should we try? I wonder if it would behoove us to try and meet before that. Although we can do it as a team.
Date.
Yeah, we can.
Pick the Saturday or something, or the Sunday.
Yeah, let's look at the, where we can do it as a group. I think that would be great. Okay, so let me, Claire's got restrictions because you work in the store on the Saturday, right?
Yeah, at 10.
Okay. Oh, so we can always do, I think we did that before, we did it earlier, didn't we? We met at 8 o'clock or so. Okay. So, so I'm looking at the calendar right now. So we could either do it the 17th itself, which is Sunday, or we could do it the Saturday, the 23rd. Yeah, it's the NG fairs on the 23rd. The sustainability fairs on the 23rd. So I wouldn't be able to do it on the 23rd.
Yeah, the 17th works better for me too.
Yeah,
so
how
I
about
can
the
do it
17th,
anytime.
the first day?
What
That's
time?
the Sunday. What time's good for everybody on a Sunday? How about 10 o'clock?
Is that April 17? We're talking
Yeah,
about?
that's the first official day of pitch-in.
Okay, so is that Easter Sunday?
Ooh, I have
No,
a
I
thing
think-
here. Easter's lit. Hang on.
I think it's the following week
Is it? Okay.
from Easter.
Easter Sunday.
Let me check my.
Yes, you're right.
No, it
Easter
is
Sunday,
Easter
is the
Sunday.
17th.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is Easter Sunday. It makes no
It's
difference
Easter
to
Sunday.
me if it doesn't work for everybody, but doesn't make a big difference to me to go out for a couple of hours on Easter Sunday. Bring your family.
Not a problem for me, but
Not a problem for
somebody
me
will
either.
be.
How does everybody else feel about that?
Yep.
We just go out for a
Maybe.
couple of hours. We don't have to go out the whole day. So everybody's okay with that?
So I missed that, Annie. I was just checking
So,
the calendar.
yeah, it is Easter Sunday. We've agreed that it's okay with us to go out for a couple of hours on Easter Sunday. Bring your family. At 10 o'clock.
I think it doesn't matter, like if you can't, you can't, just put
Exactly, it doesn't.
an hour or two sometime in the week if you can.
Yep.
Because whatever we pick, people can come and finish it. So let's just go with the
Absolutely.
17th, and if
We'll
you
go
want
to the 17th at 10
16th,
o'clock.
that's fine. If you want to do it on the 18th, that's fine, whatever.
And
Yes, who knows what the weather may be like for that matter.
exactly, yeah. So we can touch base with each other before that and I'll send out an email and remind people to see who's available and who's not. Even if it's a few of us, we've done it with 10 of us and we've done it with 3 of us. So I think we had all your kids, not all, but we had a couple of your kids one year, Gary, I think. So the more the merrier. And then we can choose a route. I'll initiate an email and make some suggestions as to where we go.
All right.
That's okay. Okay, excellent, everybody. Any questions, any concerns before we go? It's now 5:38, Janice.
Yep.
Otherwise, a motion to adjourn the meeting, please.
We set a regularly scheduled meeting date for.
Yeah,
next-
I did say that, April 27th.
Sorry, April 27th.
Yeah. It's always the same, it's the 4th, unless we do something differently. It's the 4th Wednesday of every month. Okay, all right. So then a motion for adjournment, please.
Sure.
Again, Gary, great. Awesome. Thank you, everybody. Have a great
Thank you
rest of
very
the week.
much.
And
I'll
I'll
get
be in
these
touch
out
with,
this weekend.
perfect. That's great, Janice. And I'll be in touch with information on when we hear back from Bob about pitch in and we'll make the arrangements.
And the
Excellent.
right of way motion we will be on then.
No,
The
it's going in with
second?
these minutes. It'll go
Yeah.
in with these minutes, yeah.
Will
Was
that
you
be
asking which meeting, Claire? It's
for
gonna
the
be?
for council? Yeah.
Yeah.
Will that be on the second week of next month?
Second Monday.
Great. So we look forward to hearing feedback from you about that, please, Bob. That'd be great. Excellent. Thank you again, everybody,
Thank you.
and have a good night.
You too.
You too.
Bye.
Bye all.
Bye.